Hello, everybody. This is John from A Thriving Mindset. I'm glad that you're joining me here today. I know it's been a while since I've posted any type of video, but recently I've had some thoughts that I want to share with you. And these thoughts are centered around the topic of bullying. Uh, Recently, I've seen a slew of posts on social media stating something like, bullying is not okay. Can I get four of my friends to copy and paste this on their wall? Uh, I don't know how I feel whenever I run across posts like that. And the reason why these posts tend to frustrate me is because I grew up being a victim of bullying. And bullying sucks. Uh, in retrospect, I look back and I was quite an awkward kid. First of all, I was poor. And because I was poor, I wore a lot of hand-me-downs. So I got made fun of the way that I dressed. I had the athleticism of a newborn calf. I couldn't catch a ball. People would make fun of me because of that. And there was a lot of chaos that took place in my personal life during my childhood. And that led me to kind of like escape in an imaginary world. And I found solace in theater and in music. And it was just weird. I had friends that would make fun of me. Well, I shouldn't say they were friends. They were classmates that would make fun of me daily. Whenever I'd get on the school bus, there was people that were on the school bus that were upperclassmen that would push me around, hit me, and call me names. And this continued well into my middle school years. By the time I was in middle school, it was quite the norm for me to get picked up and get thrown around the trash. I was a bit of a scrawny kid, and people just seem to want to cause me pain. And I look back and it saddens me. And all of this changed one day whenever I was hanging out with a friend of mine. I had made a friend in a neighboring city, and my brother happened to be dating his sister. And this young man, he had actually come from Chicago. He lived in the inner city, and he had a lot of street savvy. And we'd been hanging out for a while. And one day he told me, he said, "Hey, John, you get picked on a lot at school, don't you?" And I didn't know how to respond. I was quite embarrassed, but I admitted that I was indeed getting picked on quite frequently. And he quickly gave me a solution to the problem, and he gave me advice, and the advice is very graphic. It involves using my knee to the groin of the offender and grabbing them by the ears and slamming their head into my knee repeatedly until I saw blood. And I know that sounds absolutely horrible, and that's not advice that I would really go around giving anybody, but something happened to me that day. Um, I left that meeting that I had with that young man, and I felt empowered. I felt like I had a tool. I felt like I had a resource to run to if somebody came and tried to do something to me. And from that point on, I didn't allow people just to push me around anymore. I knew that if someone came and they tried to hurt me, I knew what I could do to cause pain to them and cause them to leave me alone and make them wish they had never hurt me. Um, Fast forward to today, every time that I see some kind of anti-bullying campaign, it just, like I said at the beginning of this video, it just frustrates me because I believe you can educate people as much as you possibly can educate them regarding the harm of bullying. And the reality is that bullies are always going to exist. There's always going to be some kid out there in the playground that has some messed up life, that the only way they can find some type of comfort for their miserable life is to cause pain to others. But in the midst of that, it's important to teach our children. It's important to teach kids that we see being hurt how to defend themselves. And I think that's the biggest cure that there is out there. And I know there's going to be plenty of people that would have an opposite response than the response that I have. But having been there before, having lived through that, having suffered being picked on, I believe that there's things that we can do to help these kids or even adults in the workplace that are being bullied. The first thing that we can do is we can empathize with them. Whenever we hear somebody or know of somebody that is being picked on or being hurt, we can empathize with them. It doesn't mean that we create sympathy and in a way that creates shame, but it just means that we listen with an open ear and sort of say, you know what, I am so sorry that you're going through that. Just letting them know they're being heard just really will empower them. The other thing I think we can do is just we can empower them with resources and tools and show them what to do when they're being picked on. For me, it was my friend reaching out to me and telling me how to defend myself. And whenever I laugh whenever I think about it, because he actually had me take a moment and pretend to hit somebody and grab them and hurt them. And thankfully, I never had to use that. But he gave me a tool. He gave me a resource. If somebody came against me, I wasn't going to allow somebody to hurt me ever again. And they didn't. So sometimes empowering our children, teaching them how to defend themselves physically, and also being able to stand up verbally to people who verbally make fun of them. Remember, my little girl was small. Her older two siblings used to pick on her a lot. They always used to cause her to cry. And gosh, I'm probably going to get the worst parent of the year award. But I actually taught her what to say and coached her what to say to get back at her older siblings. And at first they were surprised, but they backed off and they left her alone. And as adults, my children really love and respect each other, and they have a lot of respect for the little sister. The older two have a lot of respect for the little sister. But I think we can do things to empower our children to not be like a stick in the mud and just allow people to run all over them. We can also encourage them whenever they're experiencing things. Just simply things saying like, you know what, I believe in you. I know that you have it in you. As a father, I always want to tell my daughter she's beautiful. When I see her, I always say, hi, beautiful. You can say things to encourage your children and help them feel like they are $1,000,000 whenever the world around them is trying to make them feel miserable. The last thing that I want to encourage you to do is, if necessary, expose the perpetrator. And here's the reality. A lot of kids act out because their life at home really sucks. And unfortunately, they have no skill whatsoever to cope with their personal pain that they're going through as children, except by acting out and hurting other people. And those kids need help. And until somebody makes a report and, to the right authority, to the right place at the right time, they're never going to get the counseling they need. The parents are never going to receive the parenting education that they may need. The families might not be able to work through the struggles that they have. And in the long run, that perpetrator, that bully, might end up getting into worse trouble. That family could be in even a worse crisis if nobody ever speaks up. So as painful as it may seem, I want to encourage you to expose the perpetrator if it is necessary. And for those of you that maybe might be experiencing bullying in the workplace, you're an adult already, and then for some odd reason you're working and there's people that are bullying you, that's what an HR department is for. You don't have to go into a workplace and feel like it's a hostile work environment and just absolutely hate the place where you work. Well, anyhow, these are my thoughts that I thought I'd share with you. I'm sorry that I'm frustrated, but I just really felt in the bottom of my heart that I had to share with you my viewpoint, being a former victim of bullying, and also knowing what it's like to be empowered by someone that took the time to invest in me, and living a life of victory and not having to allow myself to be bullied ever again. Thanks again for tuning in. This is a Thriving Mindset. If you are enjoying my posts, my blog post, if you enjoy my videos, please do me a favor and share this with somebody. You are welcome to click on the link below. Please click like. Feel free to leave a comment either on my blog, thrivingmindset.com, or also on social media, Facebook and Twitter. Thanks once again. I hope you have a wonderful day. This is John from A Thriving Mindset. Take control of your future.